but maybe this redistricting thing can actually come in our favor, and we can overcome the electoral college. So I mean, I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged, and also I love California for just standing up. We stood up, and so that's so I feel really good about Prop 50. How about you?
Yeah, me too. My only worry is the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court could really undo the Voting Rights Act, and you're going to see all that progress just go away. And they are aiming at it, and it's disgusting, especially it's under the guise, or at least their assertion, that racism is over because of Barack Obama.
I think that my parents used to tell me stories all the time because of that, they were in the segregated South. And so voting at the time was this thing where they actually put they put a giant jar of jelly beans in front of you and tell you to ask you to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or they would say you need to take a literacy test.
Yep.
Things like that. And which is what the Voting Rights Act was actually stopping, right? Yep. But I'm talking only from my generation of, you can call me a post-civil rights child, you know what I mean? I go to my polling place, you try that shit, I wish a motherfucker would. No, I mean, really, you can actually, there were these systems in place, but they also demanded an entire social structure that upheld those things, right? There was a time when a black man couldn't walk down the street in front of a white man. There was a time when a white man could actually say to a black man, "Why you eyeballing me, boy?"
Mm-hmm.
These days, I wish a motherfucker would. so that whole system, when they say that racism is over, that's not really what they're trying to say, right? They're trying to say that if the law wasn't there, we could go back to that time. Yep. And the answer is you can't. The answer is the social structure just isn't there. You'd have to go back in time and get that police force. You'd have to go back in time and get those National Guards, right? Because I wish a motherfucker would. It's really something that actually is from my generation. I'm not worried about you taking away the Voting Rights Act. I'm not worried about you talking about civil rights discrimination and me not being able to go to court and sue my boss or somebody who's not hiring me because of my skin color. I wish a motherfucker would. The law, this is the thing people seem to understand. The law is not protecting white people from black people. It was supposed to be protecting black people from white people.
Yep.
Right, that's what it was supposed to do. But now, I wish the motherfucker would try to do some shit like that. People like Trump gonna bring back slavery and gonna come and round up all the black people. I wish a motherfucker would. I just, it's that era is just over. So I mean, I'm not really concerned about the Voting Rights Act being rescinded. Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But no, I'm not really concerned because you try to start some shit over in Alabama right now at a black voting place. You try that. You try to go to a black polling place with your MAGA hats and try to stop those people from going in and voting. I wish a motherfucker would, because we got them too. You know what I mean? So you come over there with those things, we're going to come over there with those things too. Right? And the police are not going to be over there and just opening fire or use the fire hoses on people and shit like that. That shit's done.
Yeah.
It's just done. So you would have to bring all of that entire old social structure back. You'd have to bring it all back. And it wasn't just laws, right? It was also the ability to break the law.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And it was a culture too.
Yeah, it was a culture. And the thing is, they're trying to bring that culture back. But the truth of the matter is time goes forward, not backwards. You can't make people from my generation, right, respond to a Jim Crow situation. You just can't do it. You cannot put us back in that subjugated role. Yeah. Because we don't fit. We just don't fit. And the thing is, you got the first black president. Well, game's over. I mean, whether you guys like it or not, that game is over. This whole thing that black inferiority, that's over. You know what I mean? So basically, you're stuck. You're stuck because there's even if you tried to enforce that, if you got rid of the Voting Rights Act and you tried to bring out a jar of jelly beans, you're just not going to get it. Yeah. Right? You'll get pulled out of that polling place before you fucking get somebody, to count some jelly beans. You'll get pulled out physically. No, we're voting. No, we'll deal with the legal ramifications of that later, but we will be voting. Yeah. So I mean, that's just, so that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I mean, it's still for me very disappointing. I mean, especially when you think about the legacy of the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, especially think about people died for it,
Yeah.
There's a whole movie about it called Mississippi Burning. And those
God,
people,
yeah.
I mean, it's seriously like, you know, people coming down just to help people vote, and they were killed for it, you know, and we don't even know what their last moments were like, but they're probably scary and awful.
But yeah, you talk about Cheney and those other guys. Yeah, but now, you know, but once again, though, I think that what people have a tendency of not remembering is that over this past handful of, like, well, actually, it's only been 60 years, but like, you know, I grew up my entire life, like, you know, in a different kind of mindset, with a different kind of culture, with a different kind of self-awareness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Like, so like that was essential in the 60s. It was. And I think it's still essential now, because I do think racial discrimination hasn't really changed all that much. Right. But I mean, the thing is, the struggle is just born anew. The struggle is born anew, but we're definitely at a different place and in a different time. And you're dealing with a different sort of people. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to say, what, you eyeballing me, boy? You're not going to be able to do that anymore. It's just not coming back. And that's what you want, right? Ultimately, that's what you want. That's not coming back, right? Yeah. It's like it's just gone. So, I mean, do your worst. I mean, do what you think you got to do, but ain't the goddamn Klan is not going to be coming into Oakland, and we're not going to, like, you know, let you fuck up Memphis or anything like that. We're just not going to let you do it. You know? So I mean, it's just a different world. You're going to have to respond to it, you know?
Yeah, especially too with this media environment, you could see people, you know, getting ready, preparing, organizing as soon as that stuff comes down, you know? And like, seriously, you're going to see if they're not going to like the response, and that's the best way to put it. You know, they're going to think they can just get away with it, and no, the response is not going to be that easy at all.
Well, also, but the thing is, though, is that, like, you know, I've been going around and talking to people about this thing of needing Black attention in order to push forth a white supremacist agenda. You can't push forth a white supremacist agenda without Black people. You just can't do it. So basically, what Trump is having problems with right now when it comes to Stephen Miller is going into these Black communities, and the Black communities are not responding with violence. That violence is something he had anticipated from Black people because he's a white supremacist.
Yep.
Right. So, like, the thing is like, everything you guys think you're taking away from us are things that we actually have instilled inside ourselves. Right. We don't run from cops. We don't run from the National Guard. Not all of us are criminals. You know, we don't have records. There was actually a guy walked up to a Black man in Memphis, an ICE agent, and asked him if he was Dominican. and the thing that drives me crazy about that very argument is, like, I think you saw my Twitter on this, but, like, I knew my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother.
Oh, wow.
My great-great-grandmother died when she was 104.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Or something like that. I knew her when I was like 4. She died when I was like 4 or 5 years old. But she, in her house, she had a picture of her mother. Right? Mm-hmm. So I was cognizant of my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, and my great-great-great-grandmother. And they all are from America. They're all birthright citizens. How many can Stephen Miller say that? No, he can't. Stephen Miller cannot say that. Can Donald Trump say that? No, he can't.
No, he can't.
There's a lot of people who can't say that. So how are you going to question the one thing that Black Americans actually have are really deep roots in the country itself? Grandmothers, great-greats, great-great-great-great-greats, great-great-great-great-greats. I mean, we have that, you know?
Yeah.
And so, to me, I think that's what you're trying to take away, and it's something you can't, because it's just there. It's just there. Our citizenship is just there. Our rights are just there. And I remember, like, you know, talking to then I'll stop talking, but on the Black radical side of things, they always said, like, you know, I'm talking about Kwame Ture and people like that, and Asada and them. They're like, if they can give you a right, and then be able to take it away from you, it's just a privilege. It's something they're just like, you know. So, like, the Voting Rights Act, right? Well, if you can give it to us and we can take it away, it was never ours to begin with, right? But you know what it is? Our vote, right? Like that's really, like, you know, you can't take away our vote, even though they're trying desperately in Texas. You can't take that away. You could or the Civil Rights Act, right? We're going to force you to be civil to Black people, right? Right. But no, you know what? If you're not civil to me, it's actually a personal thing. We're going to get into it on that, you know, on that basis. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's going to be personal. And, like, you know, and that's not something that we don't have to have the government demand civility, right? The government is demanding civility. If you can give us that right, and then you can take it away, it never belonged to us. And so that's the reason why you're not seeing people in the streets right now, like when these fucking ICE agents show up or whatever, when like all these things that Trump is trying to do to shake the hive, like starve people. Because now stop, because that's the other one, fucking SNAP benefits.
Yep.
For 60 years, America thought that SNAP was for Black people. And I didn't know this. I just learned this over the past couple of weeks. Like there are more white people on SNAP than Black people. But for some reason, like white America has been able to fool everybody into saying they're not on SNAP benefits. And so when Donald Trump and Stephen Miller were like, okay, they're not responding. And one of the things that's going to make them respond is food insecurity. So what we're going to do is we're going to hurt all the Black people and all their SNAP benefits. And Trump even came out and said, we're going to go after Democrat programs. I mean, so he meant SNAP. And so basically he thought that Black people were almost primarily on SNAP, and you do a little bit of denying them food. Then you send in the troops, and then they're going to be angry because they don't have their food. And now they have the troops, and now you get your little thing where you can halt the elections, right?
It's out of control. We need to take over.
Yeah, but like I said a couple of weeks ago, in West Virginia, like 96% of the population's on SNAP. They're going to go off on you. A whole damn state. They're number 2 in receiving the SNAP benefits. The whole damn state is going to be mad at you. And it's going to be a bunch of white people because it actually is 98%. It's like 96% white in West Virginia. So you're depriving the poorest of the poor whites in this country of their SNAP benefits. And you think it's going to happen in the ghetto? You think it's going to happen in a Black community?
No.
Do you think it's going to be West Virginia, man.
And guess who's better armed?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be West Virginia and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
If they don't get that money out, man. Oh, and especially if it's people who lost their farms and they're using SNAP benefits right now too. Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas. Oh, shit.
And that's and there's another point with that too, is that actually, I mean, SNAP isn't for poor people. SNAP is for poor farmers.
Yeah.
It's a USDA subsidy to pay farmers to keep growing crops and basically, help them out. And they're pissed too. I mean, that's their income, and they've been promised this stuff. And Trump appealed to that group. And guess what?
It's so funny because it's not really funny, but it's kind of funny. In Chicago, ICE is beating the shit out of white people. I mean, every time I look, ICE is beat the shit out of another white person. Like, didn't you go to Chicago to beat up on Black people and brown people? Yeah. Every time I look, you're gonna push a lady, you grab somebody else out of the car. They took this one guy and slammed him down on the street and pounded him in the head a couple of times. I'm like, they are beating the shit out of white people. Holy shit! How come white people are getting mad about this?
Oh yeah.
White people should be really mad.
Oh, they're mad. They're mad, but you have to remember those too, who, have the biggest voices won't be mad, but they're definitely mad. Yeah. But it's also too, that's the thing though, too. It's usually the cops avoid going after white people because the white people got the resources.
Exactly. They're literally racially profiling white people.
Yeah.
They've gone into 3 segregated white suburbs. And I think that's maybe the other thing that people don't understand about Chicago. People, when they think about Chicago, downtown Chicago and the slight surrounding area. But there are 3 suburbs. And the one I'm surprised they haven't hit yet is Brownsville. And Brownsville is where the Black bougies are. Right? At least you be beating up on Black people. But no, you're going to the Greenwood or whatever the fuck it's called, and that's predominantly white neighborhood. It's like you literally racially profiled white people.
Well, at least it's good to see the shoe on the other foot, right?
well, no, because to me, because white supremacy is the thing that got this motherfucker in office, right? Yep. So if white people are being hurt, shouldn't the white supremacists be upset about it? And they're not. Right? Aren't you supposed to be preserving the women and children, whatever your little fucking 12 words are, whatever, 18 words, what it must preserve white women and the sanctity of childhood or whatever the fuck. Aren't you guys supposed to be doing that? Because you're not doing it right now. I mean, white people are starving. White people are getting their asses kicked by ICE. White people are when is your white supremacy thing going to kick in, man? Come on.
Yeah. Well,
take on ICE. Take on ICE.